Sorry about this technical problem, but khair inshallah. When Allah wants something, it will happen. He doesn't want it, it won't happen. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. I'll do just probably 5 minutes talk. I would like to share with you three things. Number one, or three things under the objectives of any Sharia. So Sharia came to reform the human, number one, to reform society and reform system. In order to have functional society and functional relationships, we need to focus on these three things. So number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent the prophets and the messengers to reform the human. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, as Allah stated, so succeeded is the one who purifies it. It means himself, his heart, his nafs. So reformation of oneself, which is under the character, under the good traits, working on that, controlling your anger, controlling your tongue, controlling your behavior, and so on and so forth. So this is number one. So the more we work on this to be a virtuous person, to be a person of nobility, to be a person of goodness, you have to work on the character. And this comes under faith as well, because in order to follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be a better person, so Sharia has been sent to make people better, to make society better, to make the system better, if there's any system, or to create a system if there's no system in the first place. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us in the Quran many times to work on ourselves and make ourselves better and so on. And the second category, which is society. In order to reform the society, of course, working on the individual. If we work on the individual, then the society will be better, inshallah, hopefully. But it's not enough to have individual good, virtuous character. But as well, sometimes you might be good as an individual, but when you are in a group of people, you can't function properly. So there are etiquettes for dealings and etiquettes in communication and etiquettes in, for instance, transactions and so on. So you cannot, or our religion actually is not based on and centered on individual. It's a social and focus on the community. So we don't neglect the individual, but it's not centered on the individual. So we work on both, fixing the individual, reforming the individual, and reforming the society. And the third thing is about reforming the system. And reforming the system, it means we have to have, for each one actually, we have many things underneath. So reformation of society, number one, we need justice. And justice, which is versus oppression. So we have probably plenty of talks and blogs on our website talking about reformation of the society and delivering justice. The justice is so important. Allah Azza wa Jal in many verses talks about the importance of justice and fighting oppression and fighting corruption and so on and so forth. In fact, when Allah described the Ummah, our Ummah, Allah Azza wa Jal says, the Ummah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, He says, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. You are the best ummah that has been introduced to humanity. تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. So you command what is good, you forbid what is evil. So this is under delivering a fair and just society and being fair and just. If we neglect this duty, then we are not the best ummah. And accordingly, if corruption is taking over, accordingly, if injustice is in place, if all of this is broken, if everything is broken, then yes, you cannot expect goodness in the community. And this is exactly what happened as for example, in Lebanon. So some of you were asking me to update you about the situation in Lebanon. In summary, this is what's going on. The corruption is creeping into every single corner and every single uh, uh, organization, especially the government organizations, since more than probably 30 years. And people were fine with it and living with it and customizing their life with it, and till it became, as probably we've seen this not only in Lebanon and in many countries, till it becomes the dominant corruption. In every transaction, you have to have uh, uh, corruption. In every department, you have corruption. In every on every level, you have corruption. Even in the universities, even in education, in businesses, and you name it. Wherever you go, corruption is dominant. In the political arena, corruption is dominant. So the, the Sharia is about fixing the system, how to live. As we see the last verse which Allah has revealed, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. This day I have perfected for you your deen. أتممت عليكم نعمتي, and completed my favor upon you, and accepted Islam for you as a way of life. Way of life, how to live, including your financial transactions, your social communication, and your political system, your economical system, based on justice and fairness. So the moment that there's no justice, or justice is being corrupted, and fairness is not there, and oppression is all over the place, then yes, you will be suffering. And not only this, Allah will punish you. As the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith, he says, if you are not going to stop the oppressor, it's very near that Allah will punish you. Allah will punish you for not standing for the truth and defending justice and delivering justice. So if you are not doing so, then you will be punished. And this is what we've seen, not just in Lebanon, everywhere, where the system is corrupt, no justice, oppression is over the place, then punishment will be there, not in the akhirah, which is certain, but as well in the dunya. So unfortunately, negligence which we have in Lebanon, and the corruption which we have in Lebanon, and irresponsible people, wrong people in the wrong place, as in the hadith, among the signs of the hour that you will see the wrong people in the wrong positions. إذا وسد الأمر إلى غير أهله فانتظر الساعة. So if the responsibility has been given to the wrong people, then wait for the hour to happen. And exactly this is what we've seen. The wrong people in the wrong positions. They are not into it to serve people, to deliver good service to the community. They are into it for taking selfies and having titles and having money in their bank account on the expense of the poor and the needy, on the expense of the people. And it's been the case since decades. And now it's exploding in their face because they have neglected their responsibilities and they did not deliver uh, justice and fairness, and they did not look after the people. Look at the electricity, corruption. You don't have electricity. You have, cut down in the electricity. You have shortage in everything, even in the wheat which you have for your bread. Even people can't anymore since probably even since the corona started, things started going up. The currency lost its value 60, 70%. So the $1 used to be 1,500 lira, Lebanese lira. Now $1 equivalent to 8,000, 9,000 Lebanese lira. So to see the difference between the beginning and now. So people are suffering on all levels, if you want. To make it worse, the banks restricted people's money, so they cannot withdraw their money from the banks. And you have no jobs, and you have no businesses running properly. You cannot import or export anything because you need dollar, and dollar is not there. It's a complete chaos. And on the top of it, now we have this catastrophe, the explosion in the seaport. And mainly it's because of negligence and corruption and what have you. If we were to go with the good intention, if we were to talk about a bad intention, we would say something else. But anyway, nevertheless, it is the end of the line, I believe. Now people are demonstrating in the streets, and they have occupied probably the foreign ministry uh, and many other ministries as well, to show that it's not anymore the government in place. We need to take over because we have fed up from these corrupt people. Which is actually the right thing to do, is to ask for your right, but definitely without crossing any uh, boundaries, i.e., without causing any damage, without causing any harm to anyone. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give relief to the people of Lebanon and to bring back peace and tranquility. And we ask Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to have mercy on those who passed away, and to give relief to the casualties and those who were injured. We have more than 160 deaths, or 75 at the moment, uh, excluding what's going on in the demonstrations. We have more than 5,000 casualties. We have nearly 100 missing, 300,000 homeless, 100,000 orphans. We have that the financial catastrophe as well is beyond expectations. Houses, buildings, businesses, streets, cars, uh, you name it. Complete destruction. Allahu Alam how long it will take and how much it will take to bring it back to where it used to be. Some estimations it says billions, 10, 15, Allahu Alam. But it's too much. And this is something, and the death which we have for those whom they lost their loved ones. You cannot replace this. You cannot compensate this. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to overcome this uh, calamity, and inshallah be uh, again on our feet, fighting for justice and bringing back tranquility and peace again to the community. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.